Observe the key points to your life, things that have made you feel alive, things that have made you feel sorrow, things that have made you feel joyous. Whatever it may be, take that and breathe that element into whatever you're doing, whether it be making a track, whether it be drawing, whether it be painting. All of those forms are included when you're an artist.
Peace and welcome to the Art4Artists podcast, where we explore the experience of artists, one artist at a time. My name is Dio Smack, and today it's my pleasure to have another attendee of this legendary open mic. This open mic, hosted by Sammy Buttons, was downtown, and I go in, I'm sitting in the corner chilling, and I notice this team start to congregate. I noticed them start to come into their own they just forming in this corner, and I'm like, who are these? Well, I'm not paying them no mind. Then they get on the mic. It's two of them. At first, it's two of them. Then we go outside for a break. It's three of them. And they just start congregating. Lo and behold, it's a team called HLS. And all of a sudden, we go outside. They start, I said it right?
Yeah,
HLS.
You know what it is.
And we go outside. Everybody's on break, smoking a little bit, drinking a little bit. We at a bar, we drinking outside. That's besides the point. Artist shit.
You feel me?
And we
ain't paying for drinks, just too expensive. Too expensive.
We outside, and one of the members pulls out a laptop. The other one pulls out a Bluetooth speaker.
Know how we do.
All of a sudden, there's a song playing, called For So Long, and I can't get the shit out my head. The first day listening to it, I can't get it out of my head.
Know what it is. That's when you make that hit by accident. You feel me? Sometimes it just be like that.
It's flowing. It's vibing. It's something that I could attach myself to and listen to for a minute. It's got that addictive sound. And I tap in further with them, learn more about their collective, learn more about each individual artist. There's three of them. And then we go back downstairs and vibe on the mic more. And I see them as their group, the support, the energy, the vibration. This is what artistry should be about, is that community. And I think one of the lost things that we have, it's not lost, but we don't have as many, is collectives. And this is not the main artist, but the artist that I met first out of the collective. His name is SAIAH Da Sapien. Gotta make sure I say it right. SAIAH Da Sapien, aka Lil Nuke, live and direct from Team HLS, right? And this is an artist that I got to share the stage with, and now we will share the podcast ethos, and we will talk about everything art. SAIAH Da Sapien. What's good, bro?
What's good? Appreciate you. Yo, I appreciate the introduction too.
Facts.
For sure. That was on point.
I'm happy to have you here, bro. We're going to dive right in. Tell us a little bit about your background and how did you get into music?
All right, well, I mean, if you really want to look at my background, born in Harlem Hospital, feel me? Stayed out there for a little bit with my grandma, feel me? She held it down for me. And from there, the older I got, I realized, like, oh, shit, I'm kind of, like, ending up in Brooklyn all the time, you know what I mean? And it's, long and behold, my pops is from Bed-Stuy out there, so it's kind of like, that was part of my upbringing regardless. So, long and behold, pops got a hold of me. We ended up in Flatbush for a little bit. That's what most people might recognize me from. Feel me? Flatbush that's like home turf right there. You feel me? And from there, we ended up back in Bed-Stuy, which is kind of ironic. So, And as far as my start in music, really, like, it started with the love of poetry. You feel me? Like, I was going through a lot of emotions at the time. Just lost my grandmother. Didn't really know how to express that. And I found poetry to be the most meaningful way for me to convey what I was feeling, the anger, aspect of it.
Right.
And a lot of times, people ain't understand that. But one teacher I had, Miss Sigismondo, I'll never forget this lady. She was the English teacher in my 6th or 7th grade class. And she took me to a poetry slam, you know what I'm saying? I did my thing in there, and they pulled me to the side like, yo, you put a beat behind yourself. You got something there, youngin'. Like, and that was one of the judges who just so happened to be, judge of color. Like,
wow,
he won us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's really was like, all right, that's the first inspiration, like, to be like, yo, this might be something you need to invest yourself in. So yeah, that's really how I got my start in this. It started from just organic poetry. You know what I mean?
Wow. Two things. First, shout out to the upbringing, because you feel me, like as a person that grew up in so many parts of this goddamn city, you grew up in them spots. Feel me?
Yeah.
Harlem Hospital to Bed-Stuy to Flatbush is
I was
crazy.
all over.
Is
Yeah.
great to back to Bed-Stuy is crazy.
Yeah.
Next, the second thing is shout out to, I'm not even going to try and mess her name up. Kukabando. What you say her name was?
The Sigismondo.
Sigismond. You know, I'm not going to try again.
Yeah,
I'm not going to try and butcher her name. But shout out to Shorty, because that's a legendary teacher moment.
Nah,
That's a legend. Like, regardless of what you have as a responsibility, whatever you're getting paid, the next extra mile to sit there and bring a kid that you see potential in to a poetry slam.
Right. Shout out Miss Sigismondo. So
That's
a real one for that.
That's like,
you know
that's
what I mean.
I want to ask.
That she wasn't even. She's not even black.
Feel me?
Even a black lady. She just simply seen the talent in a young man and was like, let me get this little homie a shot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Let me ask you about a little further than that before we go into the second question.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to that moment, right? Did you feel like you had a connection to poetry prior? Like, and I mean a deeper connection, because I know you said that it was somewhere that you allowed your emotions to, run free.
Right.
Do you feel that moment solidified your confidence in what you were doing, or did you still have a rising confidence after you started doing it more? I'm
gonna say, to be honest, my passion for it grew over time. You know what I mean? Really, like when it started with the poetry, I wasn't really like sharing it to people,
right.
You know what I mean? It was just a self thing where it's like, yo, repeat this shit to yourself. How does it sound? It sound fire, right? But then it's like, you know what I mean? That's when I got to the whole point of where I was saying, like at the end of that whole talent show experience, where it's like you had a poetry slam and the judge pulls you to the side and tells you this. That means he sees something in you that the rest of this room can't see because they not the same color as you.
Facts.
You feel me? And with that, it was like, all right, keep going. And it really started from, I guess you could say, when I was younger, because I used to like, like shit like Dr. Seuss. I started at, the higher my grades and stuff went, Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes. I started looking at poetry from before me.
Yeah.
You feel me? And like, that's when I started to realize, like, this is subjective. I can say pretty much whatever I want to describe how I feel.
Right.
So there's no right or wrong to this. You feel me? That's when like that spirit in my mind kind of like awakened to realizing I can do whatever I want with this. And can't nobody really tell me this is wrong or right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front. Like I'm happy that question led to that next question, because that's a great. That idea of not having a right or wrong is so free, especially in school. But when everything is either right or wrong, late or early, all that, like fail or pass, like you get this one thing that literally I have free reign.
Yep.
There is no right or wrong. If art allows you to say wrong things and they become right. You get what I mean? Exactly. Like, no, you can't start a sentence off with but or the, or I could start a sentence off however I want, because this is my art. And I love that. I love that freedom. And I think these are things that I like to refer to as clips,
right?
Because that's a bar. Like, that's something that we all need to enjoy when it comes to creating, is that ability.
If you don't enjoy it, what are you doing?
Exactly. Enjoy and be freer than free, because it's so many parts of your life that you have to be under rules. And I think when art allows you to be free of rules themselves, I think that's like the most you find yourself.
I would say art is one of the only aspects of life that you are truly free, because freedom, long and behold, is not really freedom in the sense that everybody thinks it is. Freedom is really here.
Yeah.
This is the only place you're ever truly free is in your own mind.
Sheesh.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the reality of it. That's where you can conceptualize, manifest anything that you want up here.
Right.
It takes the work out here, though, to manifest it into a reality.
Right. Clip number 2. What struggles did you find along your journey that may have kept you from making art?
Well, like I said before, and I mentioned a little bit earlier, is the loss of my grandma. That was a real dark time, because, like I said, it was like I was just finding this new thing of, yo, this is a way to express yourself.
Right.
And then I go through something traumatic as losing my grandmother, the woman that I've known from like when I opened my eyes at birth. This is who I seen. You feel me? Like she was there. So it's like that one was like a fatal, almost like a fatal blow to like me and my spirit, so to speak.
Right.
You know what I mean? But my brain, the way it processed it was, there's this is not the end of it. You feel me? Life goes on. Her spirit is still continuing on. It's energy.
Right.
Once I understood the whole energy is forever. You know what I mean? It's not something that you can dissipate or snap out of existence. It keeps going on.
Right.
Whether it's in this vessel or another one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And once I thought about it like that, it's like, all right, she's no longer suffering.
Wow.
So I need to be rejoicing at the fact that she's no longer here, because she doesn't have to endure what this world has to become.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like she did the stuff that's going on right now. My grandmother probably would have had a heart attack.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Or some, God forbid, somebody would have attacked her or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way that New York is now, currently,
Facts.
I wouldn't want my grandmother in a world like this, because I would have to hurt somebody, like seriously hurt somebody. You know what I mean? And with that, my whole thought process became, all right, what can I do with this that would have made her proud? And that led me to like one of my first serious, like, I'm in the booth type of songs, and it was called Mental Collision. You can look it up on YouTube and stuff like that. But that song right there was a turning point, because after losing my grandmother, I had lost my cousin Harold and my cousin Jay. Now my cousin Harold was making his way into the music industry as a manager. And my cousin Jay was actually musically inclined with lyricism.
Right.
To the point where, you know, he would just get in the booth and just spit. Like, he didn't write nothing down. He just got in there. It was kind of like the Lil Wayne of the family. You feel me? And that was like, okay, I just lost two major players to this side of the family. Now I got to pick up the pieces and carry the torch. You feel me? Like, there's no way for me to put this down now. You feel me? And there's no such thing as quitting. Especially when you know, like, the option of quitting just means you don't exist anymore. And why would I push myself to non-existence when I've already met and brushed with death already in my life so many times? So it's kind of like, I'm not gonna take this for granted. I'm gonna do what I need to do with this opportunity, and I'm gonna keep going. You feel me? Because there is no stop to this. I don't know how to stop it. I would say, you know what I mean? People be like, "How you still rapping? Like you got mad shit to say." It's like, when are you ever gonna run out of shit to say? Never. When I'm dead, that's when I'll run out of shit to say. Why? Because I'm not here to experience life no more. As long as I got life and air in my lungs to experience this shit, I'm gonna forever keep writing. I'm gonna forever keep making music. Why? Because there's a fucking song for every emotion, if you've ever realized it. You can literally quote some of your favorite lyrics for fucking situations that you go through on a daily basis.
It's a fact. You said something interesting that I want to like unpack further. You said, why would I stop? Like, I would only stop if I didn't want to exist, right? What that connection, because you did explain a little further with the idea that like there's still so much to create.
Right.
When did music become that part of your essence, when it's like, okay, like, this is my reason for existence? Like, yes, there's like a loss, right? But where was there an art piece? Was there a moment? Was there a thing that catalyzed like, yo, this is why I exist. Like, this is why I came here. This is my mission here.
Okay, so let me delve further into how Mental Collision came about with that song, right? I found it like, there's an instrumental. Shout out to Homage Beats. I kept playing it over and over again, and the beat was just speaking to me. So it was like, what do you want to say on this? Like, what are you feeling right now? And the hook basically is, lately it feels like my thoughts are colliding, but I'll keep on fighting. Success keep me striving, provided I keep my mind and heart guided when all the money gets divided. That simple hook was enough to make people realize, okay, why are relationships, why are friendships being torn apart over this monetary dollar?
Mm-hmm.
Why are people literally betraying family members?
Right.
You feel me? People that they consider kin
Yeah.
on a daily basis for the power of a dollar. And this
Mm-hmm.
dollar means shit. If I rip it up, it means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It has no value unless we give it the value.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. That was the motivator, and along with a fellow artist of mine who had actually DM'd me, and he told me that he had just recently lost his grandmother, and listening to Mental Collision actually helped him. He's had it on repeat since.
Wow.
When I heard that, that was kind of like, I didn't make the song for that,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm glad that it could reach you in a point that it could help you to heal from that.
Right.
Because I know what it's like to lose a grandparent, especially one that you're close to.
Yeah. That's powerful. I think, I love how you answered that. I want to pat myself on the back for asking another question on top of that question. I'm so happy
compound question.
Yeah, the compound question. There you go. I recently had that experience, like not for the first time. Like I feel like people hit me up sometimes, like, yo, I've been playing this over and over again, and I love that.
Right.
But I recently had something that, like, somebody, I don't know where they're from, but they hit me up and was like, there's not a day that goes by that I don't listen to this song, and
should.
It's like there's two sides of it. You answered it so perfectly. You don't make it for that reason. You don't sit there and express yourself for the reason of somebody telling you those beautiful things. But when it does come in, it makes it make a lot more sense. Like,
it makes it all worth it.
Exactly, because it's like, yes, you had to go through an immense amount of pain to create what you created.
Right.
But then you gave company to somebody that at the end of the day, you ended up being what you needed in that moment. You probably needed a song like that.
There's
in
beauty
that moment.
in pain.
Exactly.
People don't understand that. Like, and it's a multi-layered thing with that.
Yeah.
Because you can go through a tragic amount of shit, but it's what you take that tragic experience and turn it into that makes you either the better person or defeated.
Clip number 3. What is your most prized creation and why?
Honestly, my most prized creation, I would have to say my first body of work, my EP, titled Tales of Flatbush.
Fire.
I would say that reason why that would be my prized possession is because I had really did a lot of that, most of that recording on my own for the first time.
Yeah.
And it was the experience of, nigga, you pretty much have like produced your own album.
Yeah.
And you didn't even realize that you did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course, I've had shout out to my team. You know what I mean? Jay Breezy, we had him on there. You know what I mean? And he was doing a lot of my mixing. SAIAH, she did a lot of my mixing, and you know, she's made instrumentals even.
Yeah.
To where like we came together and conceived the idea, basically different parts put together to create this crazy instrumental that you wouldn't even imagine.
Right.
But yeah, that right there, that is basically like how would I say it? It was my boots on the ground moment.
Yeah.
Where I was like, you know what, this is what you're gonna do? Step into it. Don't pussyfoot around it. Step all the way into this and tell yourself you declared this is what you're gonna do.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And at that point, you know, I'm not gonna hold you, not for nothing. My parents, they didn't really get it. They were like, there's so many rappers. And I'm like, I'm not a rapper. That's where you're getting it confused. There are tons of rappers. I never discredit that. There's a difference between a rapper and an artist and an MC. They all can do the same job of one, but only one can do the same job as all three of them.
Yeah, right. Wow. Bar. 4, what do you see? Let me correct myself. What do you see for you and your art if you could create your future?
If I could create my future, honestly, I want this artistry, and I want this music and everything that it entails to take me as far as being able to purchase pieces of land, build a community there. Let that community have its own children that grow up involved in hip hop, involved in the positivity of graffiti and just the general forms of artistry that whatever it may take for them.
Wow.
You feel me? I want to see that because I've grown so accustomed to seeing foreigners and everything like that just everywhere. It's like I'm not disappointed in this, but where is our culture? Where is our culture at in all of this? You feel me? It's being lost in translation, and that's something that I've just become sick of seeing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've been on this earth for as long as I have, I've seen how it's evolved and gotten worse and worse over time. So with that being said, yeah, like I said, I want to basically elevate enough and make it far enough in this that I could make a difference. Not only in my life, but the generations that's coming underneath me.
Fact.
You know what I mean? So they have something to hold on to, like, oh shit, I can look back and I can actually recall shit that was before I was even born.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because somebody passed that knowledge down to you. They gave you the torch and allowed you to know that there was things prior to you that are still of you. You can't go somewhere without knowing where you came from.
Right. Powerful. I love the idea of buying land and creating a hip hop community. That's
It's something no one's ever done.
Easily one of the most unique answers I've ever heard. Like, I've asked it so many times, but I feel like that is an extremely unique version of the future, because with the fruits of what music can bring you, creating another life, a community itself based on the music and its importance. Because again, like, graffiti is something that we may see as even the word graffiti, but it's like, no, it's art. Like, it literally is art. It's art.
It's still it's just another format. That's
exactly. And another piece. It's like, okay, because somebody did it on a building, it's not considered it. But if this was on a canvas, it would definitely be considered art.
Okay, then it's the same thing.
So, last question, or one of the last questions: if you had one chance to motivate the next creator to get up and start their journey, what would you tell them?
Honestly, my answer for that is really just take a second, you know what I mean? Stop and smell the roses, as my pops would say, and observe the key points to your life. Things that have made you feel alive, things that have made you feel sorrow, things that have made you feel joyous. Whatever it may be, take that and breathe that element into whatever you're doing, whether it be making a track, whether it be drawing, whether it be painting. All of those forms are included when you're an artist. There's nothing that defines what an artist is, if you want to be technical, because artists can do multiple things, especially if you're multi-talented. And a lot of people I know that are artists generally are. So that's my advice for anybody that's starting out in this and they really want to do what it is, whatever that may be. You know what I mean? They really want to do that. Take the time to analyze where you're at and where you've been, and then you'll know how you can proceed forward.
Sheesh. Clip. That's another clip. Where do you? Last question for real. Where do you mostly draw your inspiration?
Honestly, a lot of my inspiration comes from daily life, people around me. You know what I mean? I have a very small circle. It's not like a lot of people I hang out with. Most of the time, when people see me outside, they see me by myself. So, you know. But the people that I do hang around with, they generally have a positive energy. And I also draw a lot of my inspiration from my cousin Jay that passed away. You know what I mean? God rest his soul. It's like whenever I tap into writing or I feel like the creative spirit, it's always something that I feel like he would have pushed for, or at least he would have been there in the studio with me, like, yo, say that again. That joint is fire. I need you to run that back one more time. You know what I mean? And that actually helps me to never really call it quits in this. You know what I mean? Like, I could today or tomorrow just be like, I don't feel like doing this no more. But who's ever lived out a dream thinking they was gonna spend $1 in a day and reach that dream?
Right.
It doesn't exist. You got to put in that footwork. It's absolutely necessary. You know what I mean?
Amazing answers, clips for days. We're gonna talk about lastly is what we're gonna get into lastly is SAIAH Da Sapien is finna plug you into all his socials so you guys can find out more about him,
Yeah.
his upcoming projects, HLS, everything you need to know.
So you can find me on Apple Music, iTunes. You can find me on Spotify. S.D.S_HLS on Instagram. I got a project dropping called The Manifestation that's gonna be dropping in December 17th. Look out for that. That's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? A lot of different energies on there. A lot of good features. Shout out my squad, HLS. You can find them HLS Archive on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Psy, Black Star. You know, shout out the whole HLS squad, the whole everybody. You feel me? T Tom, everybody. M Dot. You know what I mean? We out here. We doing our thing, and we gonna take over this summer and show y'all how the underground can make tremors for these fools on the top side.
Yeah. And that's Art4Artists, and we out.